Trap squad, 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 trap squad. Hey, Clickbaity political. Yeah, ThirstTrap, trap squad, squirrel squad. Our mission is critical to speak the truth to the masses. Yeah. We here for the fight. We ain't started, but we here to finish it. Sick and tired of seeing the privilege. Take advantage of the weak and the innocent. So we let a voice be heard. Every single weeknight. Unapologetic. Yeah. Black people, despite this white supremacist system that we live through on a daily, we still throwing up those acorns cause we represent Clickbaity. Yeah. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad. Throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad. Yeah, I see you, yeah, I see you. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad. ThirstTrap, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad. Let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad. Throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad. Yeah, I see you, yeah, I see you. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad. ThirstTrap, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad.
Yep. Welcome to another episode of Clickbaity, Political Thirst Trap, March 16th, 2021. You are now rocking with the best, ladies and gentlemen, non-conforming, gender-conforming individuals, the ones who cuss their kids out and the ones who don't cuss their kids out. Y'all folks on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and now all the podcasts. That's right. We are on the podcast also. Check us out. We're on Apple Podcast. We're on Apple Podcast. Yeah, that's right. So, my dog is getting his stuff right. My dog with me. I'm one half of the dynamic duo of Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap, Marcus Farrell, and Mondale Robinson will be joining us soon. Hope you guys enjoyed me last night. And I think it's time for us to go ahead and bring on my co-host of this great adventure, Mondale Robinson. Mondale, where you at, my brother?
What's up, man? How are you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. It's good to be back with y'all. You and the Trap Squad. What's up, everybody?
Man, look, boy, I missed you last night. We had fun, but I still missed you last night. How you feeling? You feeling like you're rock and rolling? You at 100%, bro?
I'm somewhere in between 0 and 100.
Well, let's
You know what I'm saying?
let's hope this episode. Let's hope this episode brings you back to 150 because we all the way live. We 120, 150. Turn up, folks. Folks are missing you in the trap room. So we're happy to see you back. Hey, Mondale, always give it 1,000%. I'm talking about. Y'all? You know what I mean? P low frequency, rain, joy, 31, 68, 6008.
Let's do it.
Yeah,
hey,
what I'm talking about.
Hey, y'all.
Everybody.
Today was
last time we saw you, man. You were doing a book reading, right? How'd that go this weekend?
We did the first chapter of the book club for Pedagogy of the Press over on Patreon this weekend, and it was pretty amazing. We had most of the people from the West Coast, but we had somebody from London and someone from Missouri joined us. So it was a pretty dope crowd. People were extremely engaged. The book, of course, was an extremely hard read, but I think we grew a little bit, all of us. So. It's a recording. I recorded it. I'm going to put it on the Patreon. So even if people missed the first chapter of the book club, we're definitely going to post it so folk can see it and catch up. Because we're going to, instead of making it once a month, we're actually going to do a chapter by chapter breakdown of this book. And then we're going to move into some other stuff. And then from the next book, we're going to move into action that prepares us for 2022 to be active, not just a online Patreon following organization, but also how we move some of the Trap Squad into action if they want to get involved in electoral politics.
That's what's up. That's
Yeah.
what's up. Well, we're happy. Of course, we're happy to have you back, and we're happy that goes on. Mondale out here teaching folks for a small little fee, but on the same token, you get that knowledge here each and every weekday in some way or another. So really appreciate you throwing that on. And I'm sorry I couldn't make it. Again, I was traveling. You got on me about that, but
it's all good. The luxury of technology means that everybody, even those that are not available to make it when it's live, still can participate. It's just a different experience when you're live because you get the feedback of the folk that are there and you get the input, give your feedback and, have it bounce off people in real time.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, though, the language and what we shared, all of that will be available probably in the next couple of days or so.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into something real quick, man. And this is not necessarily on our list because we got a lot of things to cover tonight. But I do want to get into one thing real quick. Shout out to our homegirl, Brianna Cartwright, Brianna Westbrook. I'm sorry, I said Cartwright. That's my other homegirl, Brianna Cartwright. That joined the show with us a couple of weeks ago because Brianna out in Arizona has started an organization that basically is challenging and within the Democratic Party. So we can't forget that she is a deputy, I believe, or a vice chair in the Democratic Party in Arizona, and she has started a push to make sure, from an official standpoint, to make sure that Kirsten Sinema ends the filibuster. So all politics are local. And I was wondering what kind of pushback would the citizens of Arizona actually do? And they are getting active in Arizona. They're doing some on-the-ground organizing to hold Kirsten Sinema accountable for, we already know how she moves when it comes down to, taking care of middle-class people. She doesn't like doing that. And she's received the heat recently. She can't make a post on Twitter, Facebook, anywhere. She can't go anywhere without somebody from Arizona saying, you don't like anything that you're saying. Stop capping. You didn't help us get $15 an hour minimum wage, and you enjoyed it while you did it. And now you have people within her own party structure, in her own local state party, that is challenging her to make sure that she is a little bit more accountable to the people of Arizona, and the people of Arizona do want to abolish that filibuster. So shout out to the Arizona Democratic Party, all the folks who are supporting Brianna, and shout out to all the Arizona citizens who are concerned about their future and want more than just lip service when it comes down to their elected officials. So we'll get into it real quick, man.
Go
ahead.
So yeah, shout out to everybody who's trying to end the filibuster. I just don't think white supremacy Kirsten Sinema is going to be moved by activists. She's in a space where I feel like she's campaigning to be a Republican or somewhere close to it. So it seems as if the best thing we're going to do is replace her to replace the filibuster. The filibuster, for all y'all that don't know, is a relic of white supremacy, Jim Crow era times, and it was meant to do nothing other than make sure that the needs and the desires of Black folk receiving equity in this country was prevented by requiring, giving these Southern Democrats at the time, these Southern white Democrats, now these Southern Republicans, actually Republicans from all over, the ability to prevent good legislation just by running their mouths. So it's tragic that we have a Democrat like Sinema in the Senate right now when we have the opportunity to do so much good. Her and Manfu, whatever his damn name is.
Manfuchin. Hey, you know what? Since you're on that and you were explaining a little bit about civics today, I got two questions for you. Let's do some basic civics before we get into it, Mondale. This is Ask Mondale about civics time. Ask Mondale about civics, because we got to ask these questions, because a lot of folks hear us, but they don't understand the basics of civics. So we're not going to spend a whole lesson on civics. Plus, some of y'all already got y'all 3 credit hours already in this right here. So we'll be repeating some information. But for those of us who don't, have that Harvard education, which is overrated.
That Harvard
Dr.
education that will not tenure Cornel
Dr.
West.
Cornel West.
Right. And because they didn't, they lost one of the greatest brains again.
Again,
Union,
twice.
And Union steps in and, saves the day. So shout out for that, for sure.
So, Mondell, my brother, what exactly is a filibuster?
The best way to explain filibuster is your annoying little cousin who won't go to fuck home and who won't shut up when you're trying to explain something serious to somebody else. Basically, what the filibuster is just that. I mean, it's a formal, an informal term. Filibuster is an informal term for basically any type of attempt to block or prevent any legislation by debating it at length or using any other type of motions or procedures to prevent furthering of said legislation. So basically an attempt to block or prevent progress or any action in Senate one wants to simply by running his fucking mouth at length about anything or nothing. It's tragic and it's disgusting. That's the simple way to explain it.
Great. And before we get to the next question for Axe Mondell, make sure you share this post. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you like this post. Make sure you like this post, like this stream. If you're on YouTube, we got 155 people. We need to get that up to like 155 likes on this stream. And we already got one person who don't like us. But what I'm starting to realize is the more free black men talk, the more people who don't like us. But they can all kiss my yes. Next question for Mondell. Brother Mondell. Hey, man. What is a win number?
Nick Paddywhack. Oh my God. A win number is something Democrats don't give a fuck about, especially the consultant class. They just care about the bottom line, which is tragic. No, but a win number is not simply the number. It is the number of votes you need to win an election, but it's not based on just what the votes were at the last election, the last election. So, for instance, the win number for 2020 for the presidential election would have been, the way you would have formulated that would have been to take the number of votes from the last 3 presidential elections. So you'd have said 2016, 2012, and 2008. You'd add those numbers together, divide them by 3 plus 1 would be your win number. But you also have to account for things like voter registration, uptick or downtick. So if there's a percentage increase in voter registration, then you need to consider that in each of your elections as well, so as to make sure your numbers are extremely accurate. Most motherfuckers don't count for the voter registration increase or the new voters that have come into the districts or wherever they're getting a win number from. But if you want to be accurate, you should absolutely do that. So let me say that again. In order to get a win number, you take the last 3 elections, and then you add those numbers up, divide it by 3, and add 1 to it. And that's how you get your win number. Plus, you account for the number of increase or decrease in voters in said locale. That's a win number.
That is a win number. And that is very close to how I get to my win numbers, Mondell. So there's no argument with me, because you know how it is with political people. We all got different ways of getting to their win number. But you just said basically the same way that I use. I won't even add anything because that was perfect. But you have just witnessed the first segment of Ask Mondell a civics question. All right, back to the basics, man. Listen, Barack Hussein Obama is back in the news again. Our guy, our friend, huh?
You owe us $100.
He is a part of the show.
You let Dwayne set you up, bro. I was so waiting for that to happen. I was like, yeah, he's gonna give us $100 on this one.
I'm about to just give 2 stacks. I'm just gonna give that
right now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna give the whole stimulus check back.
Well, let's add an asterisk to this Obama rule. You can bring his name up when he's in the news.
Yeah, he's in the news again. And this is from our dear our brothers at the New York Times. And this is from Astrid Herndon. I'm a fan of Astrid's work. Democrats pushing a stimulus admit to regrets on Obama's 2009 response. In pitching President Biden's relief package, Democrats have said their 2009 stimulus efforts under Barack Obama were insufficient. Those close to Mr. Obama have noticed, before we get into this article, it's amazing how these articles can be written like years after people like us are saying, that stuff wasn't enough. We should stop trying to play politics with Republicans, and we should do what American people want and need, more importantly. So let's get into the article real quick. As Democrats pushed through this month to pass the $1.9 trillion corona relief package, they were eager to rebuke Republicans for opposing en masse a measure filled with aid to struggling Americans. But they had another target as well, the core policy of President Barack Obama's first-term agenda. Party leaders from President Biden on down are citing Obama's strategy on his most urgent policy initiative, an $800 billion finance rescue plan in 2009 in the midst of a crippling recession, as too cautious and too deferential to Republicans, mistakes they were determined to not repeat. The pointed assessment of Mr. Obama's handling of the 2009 stimulus effort are the closest Democrats have come to grappling with a highly delicate manner in the party, the shortcomings and the legacy of Mr. Obama, not us. One of the most popular figures in the Democratic Party and a powerful voice for bipartisanship in a deeply divided country. The reexamination has irked some of the former president's allies, but thrilled some of the party's progressive wings, which sees Mr. Biden's more expansive plan as a down payment on his ambitious agenda. And it's an early signal that Mr. Biden's administration does not intend to be a carbon copy of his Democratic predecessors. In times, all concede, have changed. So basically, this article is going through what should have been an organic measure to the type of campaign that Barack Obama ran. Because here's the thing, we can't forget about this right here. First, I'm gonna try to be as nuanced as I can possibly. Barack Obama was America's first black president, and Republicans were against him no matter what he did.
Facts.
So let's just get that part out straight. I want to clear that up. Like every time I talk about Barack Obama, I want to mention that he had decisions to make, and a big weight of racism was always like that thunderous cloud, that rain cloud that was above his head in those cartoons, right? But he also chose people that were willing to negotiate with the Republican Party, a party that has never had the best interests of Americans in their plans whatsoever. And more importantly, more than siding with the Republicans, Barack Obama gave us $800 billion. But if we look at the amount of money he gave Wall Street at that time period, it's a staggering amount. Wall Street made off like bandits. The American people made off like, well, thanks for 50 cents, bro. Maybe I can go get me half a popsicle. My thoughts on this are very simple. As is everything, especially when you have someone like Rahm Emanuel defending the president's decisions on giving only $800 billion to the American people, basically a corporate politician in the perfect terms, in the perfect sense of the terms. Barack was a little soft because he wanted to make sure that some laws got passed. Now Barack is defending his legacy every chance he gets. And the Democratic Party has to come to a reckoning. The American people have eyes. The Democratic Party has to come to a reckoning. The American people have memories. The American people also have the internet. We can easily go back to the articles and the stories that were coming out in 2008, 2009 about the stimulus relief plan that he had and see that we kowtow to Republicans very fast. So we can't cap on ourselves when we look at a Joe Manchin and we look at a Kirsten Sinema and see they're playing the middle all the time. We can't cap and act like this is brand new. America's first black president almost damn near created this term at a high level, this strategy at a high level. Make sure that the Republicans are satisfied. They won't be too mad at us. Unwilling to recognize that the Republicans are racist. And anything that might help Black, brown, and indigenous people, anything that might help the LGBTQIA community, anything that might help these guys is seen as a offense in the front to the American way. What you think, Mondale?
I believe So first of all, let me say yes to what you had to say, Marcus. But let me mood set for you real quick.
Okay.
This is a conversation that people are having, and I feel like what they're skipping is the important nuance of this conversation. You know what that nuance is?
What is it, bro?
Joe Biden linked this shit. Joe Biden said this. I don't know why people aren't saying, why aren't we saying Joe Biden said, I ain't doing that bullshit Obama did and not take my victory lap. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing what Obama did or didn't do and didn't say anything. The people will be good. Like Obama's like, oh, the people will is up there. No, man. Joe Biden's like, Kamala, you and your husband, Dr. Biden, my wife, me, and the whole damn squad going on a tour. Where we going? To the most critical states for the next election cycle. And we're going to feed people everything in this bill. The checks will be in their pockets by the time we get there. Bro, the government has never released money that fast ever in the history of niggerdom. They sign something one day and the checks start going out less than 12 hours later. Not checks, direct deposit were in people's accounts already. Joe Biden definitely said this about Obama. He want to contrast on how he manages the back end of politics, the stuff that Obama don't do well, which is the pettiness, almost some people would say the pettiness of touting what just happened. But I think it's important because if not, if Joe Biden wouldn't have been talking about what else is in this bill, people would think the only thing that folk got were the $1,400 checks. People wouldn't know about the UBI that folk are getting, right? The $300, the expanded childcare that's going to help out so many people who have kids. I don't have kids right now. I wish I had about 7. That'd be about 20 grand. So, I mean, all of this extra money that's going to people, like the extension of people not worrying about getting put out their houses for not being able to pay their mortgages. I think it was $5 billion for mortgage, $10 billion for rent relief, extended, like if you got unemployment, other stuff through September of this year, even though we know that we're going to have probably a herd immunity before the end of May now. They bumped up the date by June. Everybody, enough adults will have been vaccinated that we will have herd immunity probably in this country. So I'm thinking, Biden definitely wants people to know that, listen, there's more in this bill than a $1,400 check, whether you qualified or not. Oh, not to mention, your insurance is a couple $100s cheaper too if you get it off the exchange, right? Or if you make a certain amount of money. So I think Biden is doing a smart thing if we're talking about politics, something Obama was very juvenile in and being, I think it was almost arrogance. People said it's not arrogant because he didn't do a victory tour. I think he was thinking, I've done enough by passing this, right? And people will respect me for it. And I think that is political arrogance and a miscalculation on Obama's part, which actually cost us the huge wave of Republicans we saw in 2010 was a backlash because of Obamacare, which benefited so many Republicans, but they didn't sell it to people. That was just arrogant and like, this is what we're going to do, and people will be happy with it. So I think Joe Biden is trying to prevent 2022 from looking like 2010, and I think he's doing the right thing by putting it in people's face.
Well said, my brother. But are you saying that
Joe Biden threw Barack under the bus? Hell yeah.
Are you saying that we're not the only? This ain't from Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. Don't come for our heads. Is that what you're saying? Don't come for us.
Listen,
we didn't say
this is somebody who wanted it. This is Joe Biden's like basically saying, this is what I told that motherfucker to do when I was vice president, but he didn't do it because Joe Biden was probably pushing for Obama to go around the country and motherfucking tell people what you just gave them. But Obama was being arrogant, like, oh, we won't rub it in the Republicans' face, blah, blah, blah. And I know Joe Biden wanted him to do it because when it happened, you know what Joe Biden said? This is a big fucking deal. You remember the hot mic? This is a big fucking deal.
That's right. Hey, so with that being said, I think it's important for me to read what 3 important people in the Obama administration had to say about kind of sort of the point that you just touched on. And of course, the neoliberal slant on protecting the former president's legacy is always one that makes us out to gaslight us and makes us out to be like, we're not crazy. You're not, we're not crazy. You are. Rahm Emanuel, David Axelrod, and Valerie Jarrett. So Valerie Jarrett says, who is now serving in the Biden administration. Valerie says, this was the worst economic recession since the Great Depression. And therefore, There wasn't a body of evidence about the size of the package and the impact it would have. She also mentioned a political incentive. It was important to show the country early in President Obama's time that in office, he was willing to work with Republicans. Valerie Jarrett. Rahm Emanuel, of course, says money, 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 fuck you guys, money, 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 cover that shit up, money, 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 fuck all y'all black people, fuck y'all South Side, Chicago, money, money, money. And his real quote was, it's really about Obama versus Bush, Biden versus Trump, not the other way around, Mr. Emanuel said. We built long-lasting, robust economic growth, and I think comparing one to the other is historically not accurate. And also, more importantly, it's strategically not advantageous.
He's saying that because he's not in his administration. He said this because he's not in his administration. Had he been selected to be in Biden's administration, he'd have been comparing his administration to Obama's administration. He'd have been calling it the most progressive Democratic administration ever. So forget, I'm being polite, forget Rahm Emanuel. And I wish he would fall off a bridge with a bunch of hungry sharks at the bottom of it.
And lastly, David Axelrod, who served as chief strategist to Mr. Obama, said he believed the current criticism was born out of a desire to avoid midterm shellacking, similar to the ones that Democrats suffered in 2010. It's almost like,
I said.
Mondale knows what he's talking about. In many ways, the maneuvering is a stand-in for larger tensions. Oh, it's irksome to only sense that this is what Axelrod said. It's irksome to only in the sense that it was an entirely different situation. Mr. Axelrod said, if Obama's economic record were deficient, I'm pretty sure Joe Biden wouldn't have run on it.
You're lying. You can say what they want to.
Wait, pause. Did Joe Biden even run on Obama's economic? Joe Biden
absolutely
run on.
He didn't. He did not.
He didn't.
He did not. He did not. He absolutely
but
did
you
not.
see, man, Mondale, you see these people capping and gaslighting us, right? You see it? Do you see it?
These are the people. Listen, this is Obama's legacy. This is Obama's legacy trying to take credit for this president. It ain't our fault. Y'all punk asses was telling Obama he better not say nothing about reparations. And Joe Biden has started his administration out talking about it. Now y'all feel disgusted because y'all had a black man there talking about he couldn't talk about it. And now he's so mad about Joe Biden's legacy already, Barack is. I bet you he's so mad, he's already talking about, well, I would have talked about reparations, but the white people wouldn't have liked it. They're never going to like it.
You mean Rahm wouldn't have liked it? You brought Rahm on. You brought David Axelrod on.
No, hold on, Marcus. Hold on, listen. Marcus, listen. What he threw people off when he said the white people wouldn't like it. They didn't know he was talking about the white people in his camp.
Yeah, that's right. He wasn't talking about Republicans. He was talking about the white people who were his handlers. Who the fourth state said, okay, we'll let you be president, but y'all make sure he don't do nothing outlandish. That's what happened.
Ooh. He ain't never telling about it was his white folk. You chose wrong, right?
Listen,
you chose wrong.
Yeah, he chose wrong.
When you got a friend your wife don't like, it's usually for a good reason. I ain't saying women can tell the future. I am saying though they pay attention to the smell of men. So when he walk in and every day he smell like a different set of perfume, women like that nigga trash. He a dog. I don't want him around my husband.
Hey,
so Michelle had a problem with Rahm because he was trash. Right. That nigga smell like Wall Street. He smell like every billionaire on Wall Street.
Hey, and she's from Southside Chicago. And so all the people were telling her how full of crap he was off top. But here's something I want to say about President Obama. President Obama got to be. You remember when we were growing up, Mondale? You remember growing up and the whole. And I did this, but you might not have done it. But I remember growing up, hanging out with my friends and having discussions about if I were the president. Like, yo, if I was the president, we put Kool-Aid in the water fountains. If I was the president, we wouldn't have.
I remember those jokes.
Yeah,
I remember those jokes.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we had like these things that we wanted to do if we became president. Right. If I was the president, man, I'd lower taxes. If I was the president, man, I'd fight for freedom. Barack got to be the only person that said, well, when I'm the president, I'm gonna help out Wall Street and listen to Republicans.
Well, he's not the only one. He's the only black man that would say that. I think
that's what I'm saying.
But Marcus, we literally, I'm glad you said when we were kids, I'm glad you took it there because I just want to remind people when we were kids, you're basically saying what our foundation is and our introduction to this idea, this office of president, right? So Obama's childhood was not that of a normal Black person, which means, and this is not to say that mixed people aren't Black. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying though is Barack Obama told us in his first book that his white grandfather from Kansas took him to a bar in Hawaii so he can learn how to be Black when he was 15, 16 years old. That is not the experience of the majority of Black men in this country. No one took me to a bar to learn how to be Black. That is Barack Obama's analogy of his own child, his own upbringing. Also, if we know that Barack Obama loved his grandparents, the ones that raised him the way he do love them, right? Then we also have to say that he doesn't have the natural skepticism of whiteness that we do. Right? Majority of Black people, especially those raised in the South, are naturally skeptical of white people, especially white politicians. Rightfully so. It is ahistorical to tell Black people to trust white folk. This is not to say that all white people don't deserve trusting. It's just sad that the good white folk are fucked up by all of our history that has done so much damage to Black people. Right? So Barack Obama, born in a white family, raised by his white grandparents, does not have a natural skepticism of whiteness. And I think that skews his politics different than yours and mine, Marcus.
I mean, listen, I mean, something has to be said about Barack Obama historically being the only Black man in the room, right? Like something has to be, he thrived in those situations, right? So when he creates his cabinet, when he's hanging out with Rahm Emanuel, I'm not, and this is not to dog all the people that were in his cabinet, because it was good people in his cabinet.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but when you are the only Black man in the room since you were in, basically 12th grade, 10th grade, maybe even 7th grade, you are used to building community and being the Black voice, even though you might not necessarily have a organic sense of Blackness behind you, right? So
absolutely.
So that organic sense of Blackness, and this is not to bash up Barack's Blackness. I mean, he's a Black man. I don't care. Like,
he's a black man. Point blank period.
Point blank period. But the organic sense of Blackness, you got to tell me when that developed, right?
I mean, yeah. I mean,
and let me back that up. Let me clarify that.
Go ahead.
When Rahm, David, when you got Valerie up there, thank God you got Valerie up there, right? But when Ron and David and whoever the hell else was in that White House administration with him, they let it be. They put out a very moderate, Wall Street driven, Republican leaning administration for a Black man, thinking that symbolism of Blackness would be enough for Americans to get by. Meanwhile, on the underside of everything, I'm using my Cornell West hands, on the underside of everything, they could just be a Republican administration again. And I mean, to be honest with you, if Bush got reelected, he would have gave, I'm gonna say it, I'll say it, if Bush got reelected. I mean, if any of his Republican opponents in the presidency, in the presidential races would have won, they would have gave out $800 billion. They would have did the same thing. They would have did the same thing. They would have done the same thing.
We're talking the first Bush, right? We're talking the first Bush.
Actually, no, I wasn't even talking about Bush. I was thinking McCain and old boy. I'm pretty sure Americans would have gotten some kind of stimulus package, and it just wouldn't have been enough, right? Now that Biden is flexing his muscles, Obama sees the possibilities of what could have been, and it has to be an uncomfortable feeling. It got to be an uncomfortable feeling for him. He can't be like, okay, well, let me mention reparations now.
No, he is like that. No, Marcus. He shouldn't be like that. No, he shouldn't be like that. But that Bama
shouldn't be. That's right.
That Bama is out here doing it. Like, you're 12, 14 years removed from your presidency, and now you want to talk about, well, I ain't do reparations because white people would have been mad at me. Like, that is absolutely disgusting, and that is gaslighting to the most dangerous state for the black community. Like for to have the black presidents now say that he was for or he is for reparations when you were the most powerful man, and also you had 2 years where both of the the federal houses were controlled by your party. I just can't go along with that. And we knew at that moment when Barack Obama was elected, he was the most popular person in the world. There ain't a Democrat in that was elected in Senate or in the House could have went against him. And if they would have, it was political suicide. So the fact that you're coming out right now when you have no power or no ability to do anything and say that you support something is absolutely disgusting. I mean, we're election cycle away from people being old enough to vote that weren't even born when you were president. So it's disgusting that you think you can play like this because you need to sell a podcast or you got another Netflix special that's coming out. It ranks of political expediency, and I'm so glad that Joe Biden right now, white man Joe Biden from Delaware, has a more progressive campaign. I mean, a presidency already than there's Barack Obama.
Man, what is it with black elected officials? It's not even a question. It's just something. What is it with black elected officials who, when they get elected off of blackness, they go turn right around and get every white person they know to serve in their administration? That is. I'm just so sick and tired of that. Like, man, hey, listen, make Tyrone the Secretary of Defense. Because Tyrone been defending his neighborhood for, like, I mean, I'm clowning, but like, make some people who put you in a spot. Don't try to get policy experts who the only reason they are experts is because they wrote 4-5 books on how to be neoliberal about every single situation, right? But you know what? Back to that childhood conversation, because at 16 years old, I can't front. I was like not nuanced. So my things were, well, if I become president, there won't be wars. Shout out to the 16-year-olds right now, because, and the 17-year-olds and the 15-year-olds and the 18-year-olds and people coming into adulthood, because they ain't having it. They have whole platforms already made at 16. Medicare for all, Green New Deal, reparations. You ask a 16-year-old about politics nowadays, they are informed, buddy. And they ain't having that, well, the white folks ain't letting us do it. It's the white kids, actually, that are like, nah, we're going to do something about this. So I have faith in the future, man. I have faith in the future because, like, the neoliberal policies of the past have actually, kept us down. And now we are arguing amongst ourselves, not us, but the Democratic Party is arguing amongst themselves about the validity of Barack Obama's legacy.
Yeah, I don't care about his legacy. I know what I do care about. You're absolutely right. These young voters are a different breed. And I love the fact, I told people, Marcus, I don't know if you remember this. I made a crazy analogy and we laughed about it. I said, our parents, if they use Tide soap, they always use Tide detergent. If they use Dawn, they always use Dawn. If they use Palmolive, they always use it. If they drink Pepsi, they always drink it. These kids don't give a damn about brand loyalty. This is why we have 100 pair of jean companies on every street corner. This is why we have 57 orange sodas in the damn soda machine now. These kids don't care about brand loyalty. They want what they want. And if you ain't giving it to them at the rate that they want to give it to you, they're going to get rid of you. The same is true for their politics. This is why we have almost more independent, registered independents than Democrats right now. This isn't to say that people aren't progressive or less progressive now that they're registered independent. It is to say, though, that party don't mean shit to most people, especially this young generation. They're not growing up. They didn't grow up in an era where it was Democrats were saying, don't kill black folk, don't hang them from trees, or it wasn't Republicans that were saying, we're going to strip the vote. So now what they're going to do is they're going to evaluate you based on who you and how you show up. And being mediocre is not enough for this generation. I love that. I'm not going to wait energy that these young folk have. I love that, especially as it pertains to our politics. And what it's going to do is it's going to push us more progressive. What's going to happen is we're going to get rid of more old politicians because of these young voters than ever before. And we know in the last election, a third of the electorate were millennials, and then 1 in 10 voters were even younger than millennials. So I'm super excited about what's about to happen, man, with these young folk pushing these older elected officials out the office. And by older, I mean sit your ass down 80-something.
You hit on something, Mondale, my brother. To be progressive is not to be a Democrat. The Democratic Party is not a progressive party.
It is absolutely not.
It's not,
right? It is a mechanism and a tool of the status quo.
and we're gonna move on. We need to move on. But I know when I say this, it's probably gonna keep going. But I'm gonna
because you and I know whenever you say we're gonna move on, you about to say something that's gonna make me say something else. Every time you be like we're gonna move on, I'm like, oh shit.
We're gonna move on, but so if 19-year-olds across the country and 30-year-old under across the country to say, you know what? The Democratic Party is not doing nothing for me. They don't like me. Every single time I put up a candidate locally, statewide, or nationally, they shoot that person down. We're starting our own party. I don't think we should have a problem with that.
We are not moving on, are we?
No, we're not at all.
We're not moving on.
Hold on. Matter of fact, hey, go ahead. Hey, Marine, I'm gonna show you where the anchor is on this boat real quick. Would you help me toss it over?
Yes.
Okay, let's go. Come on, it's on you.
So listen. You did that on purpose because you know how I feel about this starting a new party shit. I don't think we need to start a new party. I think those young people need to be like, all right, we need to steal the model of DSC, the Democratic Socialists in Nevada, and do the same thing. Get rid of. You don't have to steal the party because we need that infrastructure. We need that apparatus, or we're gonna be behind so far when we can actually just get rid of the party electeds and become the electeds ourselves. And I ain't talking about running for office. I'm talking about the people who control the state party and how those resources will be shared and whether that party will just be something for candidates and a mouthpiece for the National Democratic Party, or if it's going to be a service unit. So if you and your friends got together and became the elected, the executive committee for your, not even state party, your county party, or your city Democratic club, if you became the power structure, then you control the Democratic Party right there in that state. And there's some power in that. So I mean, take those 19-year-olds and that energy and teach them how to take over the party. And because most of the time when we say the party, people are thinking Jamie and them in DC. But that's the shell of the party. That's where the money lives. That's where the money reside. That's where the money reside. And that's on who? Mary Had a Little Lamb. So look, y'all don't get that?
That's right.
Okay.
No, I'm laughing.
All right.
Keep going though. You're making your point.
Cool. All right. So what I'm saying though is, if instead of trying to, when a young folk come to us and be like, "Yo, fuck this party, I'm leaving it. Not doing anything for us," we're like, hold on. Then you tell them how much infrastructure that we are responsible for in this party, and teach them how to take it over and how easy it is. Because so many people use the party, the national party, capital P, and the local parties, lowercase p, in the same way, and they shouldn't. Because what we could do is the national could be as conservative or as status quo as it want to be. You can have super progressive state level or county level or city level Democratic parties or clubs just by having a few people participate. And I think that's the way forward. So when the national party come in and be like, we need to run a field program for this conservative candidate, we could be like, nah, we ain't doing that. We're going with this person. And matter of fact, we already gave that person the van, and we already endorsed that person as the party. That's how
Mondale
we
Robinson
party.
Coming with it from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. We will fight our country's battles from the air, land, and the sea.
Hey, what you know about that Marine Corps hymn, son?
Dog, I told you, boy.
Young boy.
I'm a devil doc. I'm a green side corpsman. Of course I know that. Like, yeah, who you went and got your shots from and fixed your little ingrown toenails?
He definitely was a corpsman.
That's right. Listen, man. If I am let's see. If I am a 26-year-old who voted for Bernie in 2016.
All right.
And then I voted for Bernie or another progressive, Warren, if you consider progressive.
Were you 26 in?
No, you were 18. You were 18. Okay. If you're a 26-year-old right now, you're 18, and then you voted for Bernie or some other progressive in 2020, and you've seen and let's just say you're from let's say you're from Kentucky.
Okay, so
right?
A 26-year-old voted for Bernie in 2016 and Elizabeth Warren in 2020. Go ahead.
Yeah, and you're from Kentucky, right? And at the same time, when you voted for Bernie in Kentucky. You also saw your candidate Charles Booker, who is a Democrat, get bounced out by Amy McGrath and the establishment. So now listen, all you've seen so far from politics in the Democratic Party, all you've seen so far in general, no matter how it's like, let's build it from the inside out. All you've seen so far is an establishment party that has screwed your choice over. And you know how passionate people can get. But to these 26-year-olds and under, it's almost common sense to these folks. It's like, why are y'all going against common sense? We have enough money for war. We don't have enough money for healthcare for all. But the Democratic Party is putting these people in place. We have a candidate who wants to actually say Black Lives Matter in public. But y'all want a candidate that won't even mention the word black, right? We have people who are talking about reparations, and then y'all would much rather put somebody in place who still has a hard time admitting that police officers have a hard time not killing black people. I don't trust the Democratic Party anymore. What do you say to that person?
I tell that person, you should be clapping. That person, you've had the most progressive 8 years of any black person that in their two first voting terms ever in the history of the world. Your candidate Charles Booker, for instance, your candidate Charles Booker forced the Democratic Party and all of its whiteness in Kentucky, of all states, a red state for sure. Your candidate Charles Booker forced the Democratic Party's candidate McGrath to spend $40 million when he only spent $900,000. How do you not see that as a victory? You're making them burn through money that they can't continue to raise because your candidate with $900,000 did what they couldn't do. That was the first chance. That was the first time he ran for Senate. That's a victory. All the victories don't end with a unelected or elected person on November or in the primary. Some victories are inching closer for the next election cycle.
All right, let me clarify this for you because I feel where you're coming from, but let me go a step further. This party is actively working against me.
Great.
It's not trying to make a fair race and we just got beat. They're trying to stack the deck against me. Why the hell should I stick around with these people who don't like me anyway?
I don't think you should stick around with these people who don't like you. I think you should stick around without these people who don't like you. It's up to you to get rid of them. But we need that infrastructure that we built, that we are the net. Like, this infrastructure is ours. So if you really think they're working actively against you, then actively work against them and unelect them for these party positions. We don't have enough progressives running for party positions. And that's
okay. All right.
So let's get some party positions.
All right, and believe it or not, Mondale, I do agree with you completely, but I also see where people who want to leave the party are coming from. I absolutely agree with you because you made a statement before that actually made me. And see, here's the thing. People are going to look at this segment and be like, oh, they're just establishment hacks. No, we're not. We black as hell. Yeah, the same people who call us establishment hacks don't even know how to spell reparations. Shut up. Fuck out of here. Yeah, no, I'm being serious.
Like, reparation.
Yeah, like this, like, so let me tell you something. I'd much rather be a reparations supporter within the Democratic Party than be a third party supporter and never win an election because I don't know how to organize in Atlanta.
Facts.
I just said it. And I'm still more progressive than you are. And trust me, I hate 90% of the Democrats when it comes down to policy.
Marcus, let me ask you a question. How many black Democrats are going to leave the party when you leave?
How many black Democrats are going to leave the party when I leave?
Yeah, they ain't going nowhere, bro.
Them, they don't care about me. It'll be a lot more white people who. It'll be a lot more white people leave if I leave than black people. I know that.
But what I'm saying is our power structure resides in taking over this party, and it's not as hard as people believe. People believe that you got to have this lot of money. No, most of these county elections are 400 or 500 people elected somebody, 300 or 400 people elected somebody.
But I mean, listen, there ain't no moderate way to black liberation, and I know that. So I'm pushing for a more progressive. I'm pushing for a radical Democratic Party, which might not even happen. And let me also say this right here. I don't care what anybody says. From now on, because I gave them 3 elections, right, where I gave the Democratic Party 3. I gave them 3 elections personally, where it was like, okay, see, just because I said I'm gonna stay a Democrat doesn't mean that I'm gonna support your candidate. Let me get that right. I gave y'all 3 elections. Black people are still getting killed by cops. Last year, we got killed more by cops in the history of America than any other year. Last year, we've had 2 Democratic presidents. We've had multiple Democratic presidents in the past 20 years, past 30 years. So if the right candidate comes along this time, I'm not going to lie to you. It's not going to be vote blue no matter who. If Joe Biden doesn't do what he says he's going to do, it's that simple. I'm going to remain a Democrat and I'm just going to vote for somebody else. There's no more vote blue no matter who. That's over with. See, just because you stay in the party or you're outside the party, I'm no longer subscribing to vote blue no matter who if Joe Biden don't do anything about some of the issues that we care about. Some of them. That's just me. Y'all can do what y'all do, but that's just what I'm gonna do. But Mondale, before we continue, I'm gonna lift up this anchors that you helped me toss down. Anchors away, my boys. Anchors away. You like all the military stuff tonight, don't you?
I like that. Listen, y'all, it's that time. We need to take a break. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe and like. If you are watching on YouTube, it is your job to subscribe and like. It's how we jack up the algorithm. If you're watching on Facebook, please like and share. Please like and share. If you're watching on Twitter, please retweet this thing. This is Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. I am one half of the show, Mondale Robinson. You can meet me, find me. Actually, let me clarify what I just said. I am not one half of the show. I'm one half of the host. We have 2 other people that are deeply in, a part of this show. Those are our producers, Tunde and Dwayne. And then we also have Tam, who does a lot for the show as well. So we are a big show. We just the faces of the show. So Marcus, they can find me at Mondale Robinson everywhere on social media. What about you?
At Marcus for America everywhere on social media. Please, we have a couple 200 people watching this show right now, liking this show right now. Please subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like so we can destroy the algorithm. And remember, folks, we are now on your podcast. So if your friends are like, we can't watch them every night, y'all can check us out tomorrow morning on Apple Podcasts. And let me tell you something. One of the coolest things in the planet was driving my Jeep back to Florida this weekend and listening to Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap on Apple Podcasts. Son, I thought I made it.
We sell this information to white people, y'all. I get it for free. White folk that work in the political party, we sell this for them. So think about that.
Think about that for a second. Shout out to Dwayne and Tunde. Shout out to Dwayne and Tunde. Shout out to Dwayne and Tunde. Done Right Media. Shout out to Dwayne and Tunde. Shout out to Dwayne and Tunde. Done Right Media. Shout out.
Matter of fact, Dwayne and Tunde, run that commercial break track.
Trap squad, 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 trap squad. Hey, Clickbaity political. Yeah, Thirst Trap, Trap Squad, Squirrel Squad. Our mission is critical to speak the truth to the masses. Yeah. We here for the fight. We ain't started, but we here to finish it. Sick and tired of seeing the privilege. Take advantage of the weak and the innocent. So we let a voice be heard. Every single weeknight. Unapologetic. Black people, despite this white supremacist system that we live through on a daily, we still throwing up those acorns cause we represent Clickbaity. Yeah. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad. Let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad. Throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad. Yeah, I see you, yeah, I see you. Trap squad, trap squad. Trap squad, thirst trap. Trap squad, trap squad. Trap squad. Let me hear ya. Trap squad, trap squad. Throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap squad, trap squad. Yeah, I see you, yeah, I see you. Trap squad, trap squad. Trap squad, thirst trap. Trap squad, trap squad, trap squad, trap squad. Got something for you, bro. What you got? Man, you ain't got no.
Nah, he was. Oh, HBCU. Oh, nah.
No, where you going, bro?
Yo.
Oh, no.
That's what happens when you go HBCU, fam.
Let me tell you something. There's a reason. There's a reason why LeBron and corporate America is messing with HBCUs right now. Hey, no, you know what? You just run that back one more time for the former athlete in me, for the Peloton riders, for the joggers out there. Just run that one back one more time, Dwayne.
He said for the Peloton riders. He brought in a book bag too. He said, you ain't got nothing for me. Nah, bounce it off his head.
Nah. Where you going, bro? Ooh.
Let me say something real quick because this is important. Those were black men with masks on. They were not trying to rob anybody. Well, one of them was trying to rob anybody. He wasn't successful. But they were
one was because the president stole that Negro's soul, boy.
Practicing safe health is important. It's important to let people know that while some of your elected officials are afraid of black men and black people, if we show up, but not if white people show up, just want to let y'all know we practice safe health out here, even when we're getting crossed up. Go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah. That was his soul got snatched. I mean, here's the thing. You're not going to be able to live that down, man. The old man who run a whole campus just dogged you out, and you didn't let him do that because nobody is going to let you cross them up between your legs. Nobody.
Yo, beyond that, a man on a tie, some extra small, medium pants, you know what I'm saying, and some slick bottoms. He didn't waste no time. He was like, oh, you brought it for me? Get it.
Yeah, and knock the ball out of his hands. I got this.
He met him at his office like he was waiting on him, like it was a plot. Like, oh, what's up, son? Like, you ready?
So
you know where they come from. That comes from. Wait, you trying to drop the anchor again?
No, let's go.
All right, go ahead then.
No, I won't start singing. No, continue. I want to know where it comes from.
No, it comes from somebody that said something about you too old, or you can't cross me up, you can't do nothing. And the old man's like, I bet you I can. So the kid thought he was gonna get a laugh out of him.
Yeah, and he ended up becoming a meme on Clickbaity political thirst trap. That's fine.
We'll take it.
Hey, listen, y'all better stop trying these old man out.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm dropping the anchor again.
Let's go.
Stand Navy out to sea. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit, man. Game of Thrones cheerleading. A woman allegedly made deep fakes to kick rivals off of
so crazy to me.
Their daughter's cheerleading squad.
Crazy to me.
Yeah, just go ahead and rock and roll with the audio real quick, and we'll just sit here and watch it.
A Bucks County mom is facing charges for allegedly using deep fake images to harass rival members of her daughter's cheer team. Police say last summer, 50-year-old Rafaela Spone sent the altered images to at least 3 girls through text messages. The girls are members of the Victory Vipers in Doylestown. Police documents say the fake images showed the girls smoking, drinking alcohol, and other activities that could get them kicked off the team. Spone also allegedly sent voicemails telling one girl to kill herself. She's facing numerous charges.
Mom, stop hitting on my boyfriend. That's the kind of woman she is. Mom, you can't come to our party and don't bring alcohol. Mom, do me a favor and don't send edited pictures to my friends that are fake about cigarette smoke. Hey, listen, I know you want it bad, but don't want it that bad. Yeah, don't jeopardize, because it's just cheerleading squad, man. I mean, I know cheerleading squad is a big thing. I mean, it's an athletic thing to do. Cheerleading is a sport of its own, and you have to be an athlete.
What just happened? Wait. Did I fall off, or did we all fall off?
No, you fell off. That was just you.
Damn. Man.
Listen.
Marcus, for the
that's
first,
right.
This is karma from last year. This time when all I did was clown you about your internet. Right. This ain't right. Go ahead.
You need to go out there to one of them cars and use the internet. And turn on the wireless in one of them vehicles outside. No, you don't want to. don't want it that bad. Don't want it that bad. Like, like, don't party with your kids. Don't hit on your kids' boyfriends, right? You know what I mean? Don't be Ma from the movie Ma, right? Don't be the actual Ma. And don't do things like, try to corrupt. Like, when are these white parents gonna learn that they can't cheat their way into stuff, man? You know what I mean? Like, you got,
Marcus,
Saved by the Bell,
wait. What do you mean? Wait. But let's be serious. You're being ahistorical right now. White parents have cheated their kids' way all the way through 2021.
Well, I'm telling them not to do it.
This idea to check and white. Yeah, but listen, but right now, this is new. The white parents being
Mic check 1 2. This is so beautiful. Look at him. He looking like a paused eraser. He looking Mondale looking like Bascott got crazy and just painted over his face. Look at him. Oh, frosty beard having ass Negro. Look at him. Frosty the Mondale was a wonderful soul. I should get him back. Oh, he's gone. It's just me. Turn on your volume, Mondale. We can't hear you, Mondale.
Man, I'm so angry right now. I had a good joke. Did y'all hear my joke?
No.
God damn, Gina. I said it's ahistorical, Marcus, to try to check white parents. Because white parents have been, they're teaching their kids how to steal their way through life up until now. America is an experiment where white parents allow their kids to steal Africans and bring them to a whole nother fucking continent to make them rich.
Well, that's a very good point, my friend.
How you gonna check that shit?
By the way, Mondale, while you were
white parents.
By the way, Mondale, while you were paused, I got a couple of licks in. You know what I mean? I'm
gonna go back and listen.
It was
tomorrow, and tomorrow.
That's all right. I told you, man. I've been studying, man. Whoa, you got to get in the gym.
What'd you say? You know I'm gonna find out.
Oh, no, you'll find out. And Track Squad, y'all have to repeat it. Let's make him do his work for once. You know what I'm talking about?
Damn, Marcus got me. You gonna hit a nigga when he down, bro?
I got it from you. I literally learned the tactic from you.
Damn,
what are you talking about,
bro?
Let my internet go out for 1 second, man. You're gonna have a whole diatribe trying to open up for Eddie Murphy on my ass. That's what the hell you gonna do. So
whoa, what happened? What'd you just say?
You're gonna try to open up for Eddie Murphy.
What did you say?
Whole diatribe. Did I use diatribe?
All right. You like I don't know what you said because I'll go in. Matter of fact, if the squad didn't take up for me,
no, they did. They were laughing their ass off. They were laughing their ass off like they laughed at me. I swear I get this man all the tools he needs to survive. Oh, God.
Mark, you said I look like basketball paint on my face? Just keep walking. You know you in trouble. You know I'm gonna get you, right? You know I'm gonna get you.
Hey, I'm saying, who did somebody text you?
It was beautiful that it was me that froze, right?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was get back time, bro. Listen, you spent a whole 2-month period dragging my internet, dog. And when I couldn't come back fast enough, you had dropped like 50 joules on top of my head. Bloom, 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 bloom.
All right.
When I get back, you talking about, listen, the whole where's Wody thing. You know when that happened? My internet was fucking up.
You know, I told you. I'm the one responsible for telling people like we need to check and make sure Wodie's still alive. All right, so I'll let you happen. But seriously I agree 100% with you, man. Don't be that thirsty. Like don't want it that bad.
Don't be that thirsty, man. Like
them children will never live this down. Your kids will hate you for this from now on. You're worse than that dad in Detroit that was racist at the school board meeting, so much so that his son had to come out and be like, listen, his son did like a press release like, I know that man, like I'm his son, but I don't agree with any of his beliefs. Like I was like, this is a kid trying to protect himself tomorrow at school. Like my dad just made an ass out of the whole family. Let me clean it up.
Hey, hold on. While we found a little bit, why Nabil? I'm about to put this comment up.
Oh, here we go, Nabil.
Hey, and I'm gonna put the picture up, Mondale, so we.
No, you're not gonna put that picture up, Dwayne.
yes,
you're
you are.
not gonna
Yes,
put that
you-
picture up.
yes, you
Dwayne, don't put
absolutely
that
are.
picture up.
Dwayne, you are absolutely putting that picture up.
Put it up,
the
Dwayne.
picture
Put it up. Put it
Dwayne.
up. Put it up.
We ain't clowned on nobody in a while, but he said you look like. Hold on, let me make sure they.
So we ain't clowned on nobody in a while, but Mondale,
Here we go.
Nabil said you look like my man right here.
See, y'all lucky I'm tired. I had a long 12 years where I would go in on the bill. You know what I'm saying? But today is Save the White Man that look like Rudolph Reindeer's Day. So I can't fuck with Nabil because he looked like a fresh off the fucking boat Russian. Oh, dusty ass snowman with a heartbeat. Like a fake ass. He like a beginner. What you call this mother cut down trees and shit? What's that?
A
What's
forester.
this motherfucker's name? Who?
He looks like a forester. He looks like a broke ass forester.
No, beaver. The motherfucker looked like a beginner beaver. This motherfucker looked like a whole animal with a flat tail. The motherfucker looked like, put him back up so I can see his face, so I can see what he looked like. He looked like Eminem before the record deal. Kid Rocks before herpes. You're bad shape, boy. Your nose don't match. You look like you got a bird beak. Your hat is out of your hair. Your face, your eyes are gone. Too much methamphetamines. You look like your teeth are lost to the drug game. Motherfucker, I'm done. I'm tired. Took all my energy. We love
Hey,
you,
Nabil, you know we still love you over here.
we love
bro.
you, Nabil.
Good Lord.
We love you, Nabil. Even though your nose is
Yeah,
like a
man.
broke ass pencil, nigga, you can write a whole orchestra music. What you call that shit? See, I'm out of my wit. Put his face back up, dude. I need to see him again. God damn it! If you want to go in, look at this nigga. Your nose is the missing tooth in that gap you got there, motherfucker. Your nose, your chin ain't right. You look like a broke Stephen Curry. Like you can't shoot the three, motherfucker. Your trailer park window is backwards. Look at this shit.
Hey, Nabil, he
You
jumping
got
in
a
on it. He said,
CB radio in the back of your head.
way too much coke.
Your jaws are mismatched, motherfucker.
Are you focused in on the Mondale? Is that what's going on?
I kept looking at different aspects of his house. That's what I was doing.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna get back to some news real quick because I think this is an important one.
No, Nabil's important when that fucked up ass nose looking like a hawk beak, like he trying to catch a fish. You fucking nose fisher, deep sea diving ass boy. Ooh, I'm warming up now, Marcus. Where you go? Ooh, looking like I look like a cartoon character, nigga. You look like the
Trying
you
to
look like
catch
you
a
should have been on.
fish.
You look like
Ooh.
you like the face of a pirate, motherfucker. Shiver me timbers my ass. Where your face bone at? You got a whole white
Captain-
boy face.
Oh, Captain Look Ass, you got my glasses fogging up, Negro.
No, that's his nose, nigga. Nigga trying to scoop your nose. Nigga oh, hell no. D Will, you co-signing that shit? I thought I already told you no more rapists on the show. Go play. Go write R. Kelly a fan letter, motherfucker.
Hey, D will
Go ahead,
change his
Mark.
picture up though.
No, he did. He had that same picture. He just
So
took the
was it the
slob
same
off his
one?
shirt. He just took the slob off the shirt. He got a new shirt on.
He got the
Same
new shirt on.
Same stupid ass Marcus Camby face. Looking like a drunk ass Marcus Camby.
Wait a minute. Why Marcus Camby? What the fuck did he do?
I don't know why Marcus
Oh,
Camby.
ugly ass 2-time player of the year. Ass boy.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, snitch on your college team after they gave you a car, motherfucker. Put D Will back up
God.
there.
Not
Put D-Will
NCAA
back up there.
violations.
He said something earlier. He said something else. Look at him. Look at this shit. I ain't done with this motherfucker. I tell you, eat ass. You got shit still on your nose. Look at you. You nasty, D Will. You real nasty. And I know what type of women you like too.
What kind of women you like, Mondale?
Go to the news, man. Go to the news. I am not
Yeah,
getting canceled.
that's right.
Yeah.
so
You set me
so
up. I saw you trying to set me up.
I know.
Wait.
I know.
What did the bill say? Go to the news, Marcus.
Hey. So tomorrow on Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap,
It's just me. It's just me, Marcus.
we're canceled. It's just me.
This just in.
again.
Mundell is not officially a part of Clickbaity anymore.
Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap anymore.
And I
And he
heard he
gonna be
got fired from Black Male Voters Project.
Hey, he gonna be in the chat room with y'all clowning.
I heard he's on some new morning show.
Hey. Hey, man. Hey, listen. We gotta do something for the.
Hey,
We
Marcus.
gotta do
Today
something
in
for the
broke
culture.
Today in broke news. Hold on. Today in broke news. That's your segment, Marcus.
Nah, this is not so broke news. I want to mention it
Oh.
on Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap because we love our indigenous brothers and sisters.
Oh, hell yes.
We have
This
not
is
talked
serious.
about this whatsoever.
Oh, this is serious.
But the Senate has voted to confirm Deb Haaland as the first indigenous cabinet secretary for the Secretary of the Interior. And just before we go too far, I just want to say this might be the most rightest thing a neoliberal has ever done in the history of America.
Indeed.
Right.
Indeed.
Before the election, I made this statement. I said a neoliberal will accidentally get things right. You remember that, Monday? You remember that? I said, neoliberal.
You did. You did.
Yeah. I know it was on purpose, but I also think it was an accident. This decision wouldn't have been made in a Trump administration. This decision wouldn't have been made in an Obama administration. This decision wouldn't have been made in any other administration. And this decision had completely everything to do with activists that are in the streets, from Black Lives Matter, from different organizations across the country, yelling and screaming about diversity, yelling and screaming about equity, yelling and screaming about the many things that they did. And even Black folks who weren't fighting for an indigenous interior secretary, somebody up there just did something right by accident. Somebody up there just did something right by accident. So let me get this right, man. Deb Haaland, one of two elected congresswomen, indigenous elected congresswomen, was confirmed as Secretary of the Interior, making her the first Native American cabinet secretary in history. And I'm kind of speechless, man. The 60-year-old from New Mexico will be responsible for the country's land, seas, and natural resources, as well as overseeing the tribal affairs. You mean to tell me
that's the part right there.
Hold on,
That's the
bro.
part.
You mean to tell me out of all the 400 years since white people came over here, they ain't let Native indigenous Americans take care of their own shit once? Now, listen, y'all might talk noise about Biden and neoliberals, right? But this might be the biggest surprise for me in general, right? Because they love putting white people in charge of stuff like this. Mm-hmm. See, in a perfect world, Marcia Fudge would have been in charge of all the farms, and Deb Haaland would have been in charge of all the parks and indigenous affairs. But it's not perfect. And we're going to get there, but this is a good start. Haaland is a member of the Laguna Pueblo, one of the 574 sovereign tribal nations located across 35 states. She is also the senior indigenous American in the U.S. government since Republican Charles Curtis, a member of the Kaw Nations situated in what is now Kansas, who served as the vice president to Herbert Hoover between 1929 and 1933. And Herbert Hoover was not a big old. Was he good with the parks or was he bad with the parks? I know Hoover was a shitty president with black folks. We'll get back
Fuck
to
the
that.
parks. I'm talking about we have an
Yeah, I know.
indigenous
I'm
system.
not finished with the article yet. God damn it.
Man, fuck that article. We got our own perspective. Thank you for
I know I'm reading
Let's get
some
to
of the
our
facts.
shit.
Boy, would you just be quiet for a second? Haaland will be responsible for
Looking
upholding
like a light skinned Benny Hunter. Motherfucker, I ain't finished. I heard what you said. You had a whole frosted snowflake song.
your beard blended into your shirt, Mondale. You better leave me alone. I'm ready for you.
Snowflake song. I heard about this shit. You had a little frosty fucking song about me when I was frozen. Really? Really? Go ahead.
Go ahead, man. You got it, Deb Haaland. You got it, man.
No, you had a whole frosty song about me. Somebody just told me you had a whole frosty snowman song when I was frozen.
Oh, why is people y'all are rats, Trap Squad? Don't be rats, be squirrels. Integrity. They can work for it.
He said integrity. No, seriously, Mark. In all honesty, I mean, like, here's what blew my mind. People forget 30% of the Navajo Nation don't have running water, and it's not because they don't want it. It's because of all of the complications that's like the federal government like has to approve before you can put pipes and stuff on Native American land. I'm telling you, Deb's gonna come at this with a whole different perspective, a perspective of Native indigenous lens, like the lens that no one has ever had, that head of the Department of Interior. So I'm super excited about this. And yes, the parks are super important. We know that, but not more important than where people live and how we get services to them. So I am super excited for my Native brothers and sisters. One, because this is beyond just representation or symbolism. This is beyond symbolism. This is actually a powerful move where this sister will have the ability, and she will, to change some things on reservations and the quality of life for our brothers and sisters that live on reservations. So I'm super excited about that. And I'm glad you brought that media up. That was actually super smart.
Yeah, listen, this stops America from becoming Palestine completely. This stops the indigenous people of America from becoming Palestine. This is not pro or anti-Palestine or pro or anti-Israel. But we know for a fact that indigenous people all over the planet have been losing their land, their land that was theirs, right?
Right.
If you look at a map of Palestine, you'll see that they have a smaller amount of land. If you look at a map of America, you see that, since inception, native lands have been just trampled on and corporate interests have taken place over it. We know the Keystone Pipeline, that whole debacle. Let's talk about it. The Keystone Pipeline was a ridiculous situation that only got amplified because neoliberals and conservatives wanted to put their foot down to make sure that oil went through native lands. Man, are you serious? This is big because I always mention reparations, and I always mention two communities when I talk about reparations. Talk about descendants of American slavery, and I talk about indigenous Americans. And indigenous Americans are a precious people, man. Don't let nobody trick you in believing that like every single indigenous American is making money off of casinos, because they're not. That casino money literally is keeping whole societies afloat, right? It when spent properly, right? They are a precious community. They like resources for drug and alcohol counseling are some of the lowest, yet the usage is some of the highest in our indigenous communities. And they didn't come up with that fire water. They didn't create that was brought to them. You know what I mean? Police officers across the nation, especially in Arizona, will target a Native American as quick as they will target a African American.
Oh, absolutely. Right? And don't get it twisted.
Yeah, don't ever get this twisted. I'm gonna tell you something. I think about 94 to 90% of the time when I say black people, I automatically in my mind include indigenous people. And that's just in my mind. So I need to verbalize it more because our struggles are different, right? Their land was taken away from them.
And nearly 75% of their population were annihilated,
wiped out. And we were brought over here to build on their land.
Mm-hmm.
right? So, I mean, the same way that we talk about how the highways were built through black neighborhoods, you don't think these highways were put directly through indigenous American territories and sovereign countries and sovereign land?
Burial grounds.
Burial grounds, like they're neighborhoods. They're buildings, they're structures. You know, burial grounds would be polite. You know, if you look at Oklahoma, which just finally admitted that half the state belongs to indigenous Americans, right? No, man, listen, Arizona, that whole state indigenous. There's not a spot that you can walk into Arizona.
Marcus,
go ahead.
North America, the whole continent.
North America, that's right. But I like to say Arizona because what's interesting to me is I go hiking a lot, and in Phoenix is one of these towns where Phoenix has like 6 or 7 mountains in the city limits. And if you go on the right path up a certain mountain when you're hiking in the middle of Phoenix, you're going to see hieroglyphics from indigenous people still there to this day in the middle of the city. Just right there. And it makes you think, man, you know what? We done built all around these people's stuff. Tallahassee, Florida, Myers Park, like Tallahassee, the name of our cities, the Mississippi River. That's indigenous. Tallahassee, Florida, that's indigenous. Chattahoochee River, that's indigenous. You know, we can go on and on for days and days. They've ingrained so much about Americans. Yeah, Arkansas, indigenous. You know, if it's Arkansas, Kansas, indigenous. Right? Like, we can go on and on and on. So Deb Haaland, we got the horn somewhere. I don't know if we still have the horn, but I think I want to give an air horn for Deb Haaland's appointment, and I hope she does well. And my prayers, shout out. So we got 2 minutes left, Mondale.
So I want to say, listen, last night I was severely dehydrated and tired. And Marcus, thank you for holding the show down. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for tuning in every evening with us. Marcus, myself, Dwayne, and Tunde, the folk you don't see behind the screen. We love y'all. We love doing this. It is an amazing part of our day. It is the highlight of our day. And we are nothing without the Trap Squad. So tell your friends, make sure you bring some squirrels when you come back. If you're on YouTube, subscribe and like. It's how we jack up the algorithm. If you're watching on Facebook, share this thing. Start a watch party. If you're on Twitter, retweet this thing. Marcus, tell these folk what it is, bruh.
Man, listen, it's been a wonderful pleasure. We'll see y'all tomorrow night. Thank you for being a part of Clickbaity Political Thirst Trap. We out.
That music. We out.
Trap Squad, 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 Trap Squad. Hey, Clickbaity political. Yeah, Thirst Trap, Trap Squad, Squirrel Squad. Our mission is critical to speak the truth to the masses. We here for the fight. We ain't started, but we here to finish it. Sick and tired of seeing the privilege. Take advantage of the weak and the innocent. So we let our voice be heard. Every single weeknight. Unapologetic. Black people, despite this white supremacist system that we live through on a daily, we still throwing up those acorns cause we represent Clickbaity. Trap Squad, Trap Squad, Trap Squad, let me hear ya. Trap Squad, Trap Squad, throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap Squad, Trap Squad, yeah I see you, yeah I see you. Trap Squad, Trap Squad, Trap Squad, Thirst Trap, Trap Squad, Trap Squad, Trap Squad, let me hear ya. Trap Squad, Trap Squad, throw those squirrels up if you with it. Trap Squad, Trap Squad, yeah I see you, yeah I see you. Trap Squad.